In the EFF, we support the LGBTQ plus community. There is no EFF that hates gays and lesbian and transgender and how people want to define themselves. All those parliamentarians who passed that bill in Uganda, shame on them. They must know that they are going to be killed themselves. One day, with this law, Museveni can wake up and say Bobby Wine is gay. Not because he's gay, but because he's disagreeing with him politically. He just says he's gay. According to law, he must be killed. He's going to use this law to kill his political opponents, and he must be stopped, and he must be stopped now. So, fighters, there is nothing that we are doing that is anti-African. African means allowing everybody in Africa to be who they are without passing judgment. We are not less Africans by supporting our own children, by supporting our own brothers and sisters. We are standing here and we are proud Africans. Don't make Africanism look like barbarism.
Yo, watch this.
First question. The gay community in Uganda is requesting to have a meeting with you. Would you give them an ear? In regard, the homosexuals in Uganda, they are requesting to have audience with you. Yeah. So they say, no, hold on. No, they say their side of the story has not been heard and they would kindly beg to meet you so that you get to hear that side of the story. That's number.
Gay rights. Gay rights. Gay rights. What are your thoughts?
How can it be legal for men to sleep with men and it's illegal for polygamy? It's complex. So when you talk about gay rights, the question is that what the African is?
Is there an agenda? Is there an agenda for African people to be removed, to defocus them on real matters and make them fight over something that is not as a priority as the other issues are? There was a storm in Africa last, I think around 2024, involving Uganda when they were passing a law in parliament. Julius Malema got involved and a lot of people got involved. And in fact, it escalated to other African countries where there was a projection to be taken.
LGBT.
Homosexuality.
Yes. It hasn't been our problem. And we don't intend to make it a problem. We are struggling with all kinds of problems we have. And as I said earlier, that is not a big problem for us. I don't want.
In Kenya, to be gay, the LGBT community is illegal. They just want to have equal rights, the same privacy and equality as all other Kenyans do. Is that something that you aspire to for your country?
I want to be very clear. I will not engage in a subject that is of it is not of any major importance to the people and the Republic of Kenya. This is not an issue as you would want to put it.
We are saying no to homosexuality. Why should you say we're going to be civilized if we only allow it? Are you saying we are very primitive now because we are frowning upon homosexuality? Even animals don't do it. Why should we be forced to do it? Because we want to be seen to be smart, to be seen to be civilized and advanced and so on. No, but I don't know, to be honest with you, how far this matter will go. Because already you're tying it to aid. If that is how you're going to bring your aids, then I'm afraid the Western can leave us alone in our poverty and we will continue scrounging and struggling and see how we can get going. They require help, obviously. For me, I think they're sick. That's how I see it. but they need help. The fact that they've gone to jail probably is one thing, but help should be rendered to them.
To say this might actually be the Western agenda trying to focus Africa from issues that actually matter into issues that are not as a priority. Is the rainbow community imposed into South African politics and African politics in general? I don't know, but I want you to think about, let's ponder about this thing. Let me start with Zaki Ahmad. So Zaki Ahmad is one of the political / activist who was with the Treatment Action Campaign for a long time. The young ones may not know who Zaki Ahmad is. In fact, he featured in the 2024 elections as an independent candidate. He's a hero for the virus. He was a hero for this virus because he fought many repressive laws during that time, and he was involved with the ANC of old. He was involved there. He was even involved with Mandela during this time where he was fighting this thing. So he's not by any imagination a weakling. He's been in the forces. But Zaki Ahmad is just an example of, even though you are successful, even though you are great, once you are your orientation comes up, people think less of you. And this is why you would understand other people in politics especially hide it. In show business in South Africa, it's not a problem. And the reason I want to raise this is I've seen few tweets accusing Julius Malema of loving people of the community. And there were others, of course, on Malachi. People were called Matanyula gang. They were specifically saying the ANC Youth League is divided amongst those who are Matanyula, meaning those who go with the current president, Colin Malachi, and those who do not go with them, and this thing started going. And in fact, I hosted a comrade. You'll see the video. You see the video at the end. But I just wanted to discuss this. What really bothers you? What as an African, I want you to talk to me about this. What really bothers you? What bothers you about someone coming from this community? Is it bad thing? In terms of politics, of course, I think Buso Mizi and other people do not have a problem in show business because it doesn't affect their trade as much, because the pioneers have already suffered and those who are coming after may not suffer the same as them. So they are pioneers who have already suffered. So we're talking about this one in politics. Chief amongst them is the fact that they are used, and I'll justify this and I'll put it into context for you. They are sometimes used, these colors, to paint someone bad, deliberately. When the Floyd accusations came last year, it was at the time that he had just left EFF. And when it happened, people started saying, this has Julius Malema all over. And I was like, no, this is actually unfortunate. They will say this is mere campaign because he left EFF to MK. They know MK is a fundamentally deeply orthodox African party that doesn't conform to the new things. And we'll discuss it about Darren Kemper afterwards. So it reminded me specifically about when Uhlengwa of IFP with a person called Tato. And this person called Tato, had went to the media, threatened or actually did make an expose regarding his relationship, through his romantic relationship with Hlengwa. Is IFP IFP's golden boy. He's the most, well, he's a striker at IFP, and he's a political, knowledgeable guy. And he comes from KZN roots, and people supposedly thought what Tato is doing is to discampaign Hlengwa after this thing has been lost, so he can damage his political career, because they have then lost, because this person was saying he was physically assaulted. Why am I naming this? I'm naming it because it was at the time that IFP's Hlengwa was being appointed as the chairperson of SCOPA. It's a big position in parliament. Hlengwa is not a newbie in parliament. He's been in parliament for quite some while, and he was one of the youngest to be in parliament. But the reason I'm stating is they are now saying this person came out because Hlengwa was then given a position in parliament. And this is where I'm going back to the Floyd allegations. So there's some, let me stop it here so you can listen to the Floyd allegation.
Have you seen this? This statement from EFF member Cameron Peters is going viral right now because in it, he alleges that he had a secret relationship with a high-powered member of the EFF who has now moved to the MK party. Peters says that in hindsight, the man took advantage of me and used his power and influence to get what he wanted, like he's done with plenty of other people. The man is very manipulative, and if you see the man at a club or anywhere else, run. And the way it's written, we're clearly meant to figure out for ourselves that he's talking about Floyd Shivambu. He mentions that he met this person about 5 years ago when this person was 36 or 37. Floyd is in his early 40s. And that this person's recently gone to the MK party. First off, this is an absolutely wild thing to do because he's given us enough information to safely presume who he's talking about, even though he doesn't mention that person's name. And so he's basically outed that person who has, until this point, chosen not to be public about who they find attractive and want to be with. Therefore, secondly, it opens up this person to a raft of bigotry and abuse from homophobes. And look, I'm not here to try and figure out whether or not everything in this statement is true and really happened. We at this point, as the public, have no further information to use to check. And generally, it's important to err on the side of believing victims because so often this kind of behavior happens behind closed doors with no witnesses. But I think it's important to consider the timing of this statement because yes, it is true that now that this person has left the EFF, Peters feels free to speak on it without ramifications from within the party. This set of claims works very well for the EFF because it specifically besmirches the reputation of somebody who has just left their party just after that person was given a powerful position within a new party that is their rival. So it's important to consider that. But that fact, the fact of the timing, does not mean that this is all a lie and all fake. It just means it's part of the story of how this statement has come out.
So you would understand why they then accuse people just keep throwing the lines because it then says this person might suit who this person is, but others are saying he might be colored or I do not know. For me, the merits of who is it, it doesn't matter, but the insinuation for everyone seems to be saying Floyd. And it at the time when it said Floyd, people started speculating that, oh, now that he left, he got a good job at MK, they are tarnishing his name, using what? The community, to paint him as coming from the community. It wasn't fair, if you ask me. And it is used, it allows people to use each other and to use this thing to label people otherwise, especially to a community they know may not be receptive. Is it fair? Well, I'm not here to talk about it being fair or not. If that someone is of the community, but what matters is I would have liked if that Tato person to be taken to task. If those allegations were true, you would understand at the time Buthelezi, not Umtwana, Buthelezi, who was leading IFP at the time, spoke to this person and say, please don't expose this. Don't expose my younger brother. It's not his younger brother, by the way. Don't expose my younger brother to this. Because they understood what the audience would feel. But even though they did that, the Tato person did not want to come back and resolve this matter. I don't think this Tato matter actually opened a case. I'm not sure if it did, because I don't remember it going to court or especially on trial. So I'm saying people are using this incorrectly to paint each other. And I'm not downplaying the allegations could have been true or not. I'm just saying the strategic way of using it was wrong. And what it does is it makes people to doubt the genuineness of the community, because now you are doing something bad and using the name of the community in bad light. So this is where my problem is, because then you are drawing people to hate the community. Because this other one, Cameron Peters' allegations said the person is a senior member of parliament with EFF who had just left going to MK. And immediately people started connecting the dots to say this is Floyd. It may not be Floyd. It may not be Floyd, but I don't know if it's Floyd or not. But I'm just saying, and then these people are they used? So this is an example of why we say this agenda is used deliberately to confuse people and to make people fight. Because there are people who are then abusing this thing for their own selfish gains. Let me do this. So what I want to say now is, let's check what other political parties are going through. The Democratic Alliance has in the past had few people who are of the community, and had some. I remember sometimes there was rumors of the new ministers was of the community. But let me try to show you a clip of Dean Papas, and I would also include Darren Kemper. So Darren Kemper is from the community who used to criticize organizations that were too conservative. But now he had gone to join MK, and in fact, when he went to Sizwe Mpofu-Walsh, it was Sizwe's question to say, MK has not come out clear on their stance on the community. What is your view about it? So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to play you both of them, the Dean Papas and the Kempfer's thoughts on the community. Let me just cut it very shortly.
Akho 100,000 uphumile. Angazi ukuthi bawuthole below 100,000 again. It was 50,000.
So ibithola le mali malini ebithola ngenyanga this organization?
Ngichaze lo 50,000. So 50,000 was an event support. Maningi ama-event esinawo. Umngeni Tourism got 50,000 for Lights Up Umngeni Festival. MC Records abasanda ukuthola isatma bathola 50,000 ukuba ne-event. Nottingham Road Tourism 50,000 ukuba ne-event ebizwa ngo-Moon Festival. Zulu Mpopumeni Tourism 50,000 ukuba ne-event ebizwa nge-Human Rights Festival. So akusiyona into esiqala kuyenza njengomngeni masikhuluma ngokuthuthukisa umnotho nezinto ezinje. Ngaphezu kwalokho yonke lento idlulile kuma-council, yadlula kwi-committee, yadlula kwi-exco, yadlula kwi-council meeting, and ngezikhathi zonke bayivuma lento light up umngeni nokuxhasa kwemali ye-event. Lo 100,000 abakhuluma ngayo angeke uthole lapho kwakhokhelwa khona u100,000 umngeni tourism. U100,000 bekuyisicelo esithi, and it wasn't December, ayikho imali ephumile ngo-December, but isicelo besibekwe ngo-December. But
okay, let's do this. So there's been quite a mix of responses to me joining the MK party. For the most part, there's been like 3 categories of responses. People who have been very positive about the move, honestly, without understanding why I did it. People who have been very negative about the move, also without understanding it. And then people who have watched the podcast, which I know a lot of people haven't done, which I really encourage you to do. Go watch the full podcast on SMWX on YouTube. And most people within the first 8 to 10 minutes of watching the podcast just go like, okay, I get it. It makes sense. Then there's also a sense of disbelief in two ways. The one sense of disbelief is like, Darren has abandoned women and the LGBT plus community. He's not standing up for gender equality. He's not standing up for minorities anymore. That's the one form of disbelief. And then the other form of disbelief is that it's impossible that the party is pro-gender equality and pro-LGBT plus. So I think people are trying to reconcile which one of those two is actually happening because they don't want to believe either. And the reality is, after speaking to leaders in the party for several months and after working in the party with MPs and with officials in the party and with my research team for the past maybe 4 weeks, everybody involved in the party is pro-gender equality. Everyone involved in the party is pro-LGBT plus rights because they understand that they are a very real part of South Africa and therefore want to protect them as South Africans. You don't have to believe me, and maybe it hasn't been articulated as well as you would have liked it to be within the first year of the party existing, but I'm telling you about my experience in the party. And so fortunately, we live in a democracy, right? And so if the party is not elaborating on gender equality or on LGBT plus rights specifically, like as much as you would want them to, you don't have to vote for the party in the 2026 local elections. But if over the next few months the party does start to elaborate on it and start to speak on policy that affects women and particularly minorities, then you obviously have the option of going with the party. What I'm saying is the scrutiny that you have for me and for the MK party and for all political parties is healthy. I don't want you to not have this level of scrutiny for me or for anybody else or for any other organization. Keep this level of scrutiny. I prefer the way people are responding to this move now than just outright acceptance from an uninformed perspective. So what I would suggest is the disbelief, the scrutiny, the pessimism, use that to do an investigation into the party, into their policy, and how they conduct themselves going into the 2026 local elections. Do not trust me or any other political party blindly. I know that I contributed quite a bit in terms of taking apart manifestos and constitutions and all those things over the past few months, but now I'm working in a party. So you can still take what I say, but obviously you can also accept that I'm in a party, and so you don't have to take every positive thing I say about the party at face value. You can also do some work in terms of evaluating it for yourself. So you're going to have to do some work yourself as well. Because what I've done is I've chosen to get involved with the party so that I can get involved in articulating policy and to some extent helping to inform how policy is created and shaped, because that's something I've always wanted to do. It's something I've said in the interview as well. I've wanted to be involved in making policy better, making it more on the ground level, and then making that policies easy to understand for people. So I've taken that step because it's something I've wanted to do, I felt, as a service to the country, because it's very difficult to do from a TikTok account. It's very difficult to inform and shape policy from TikTok. Like, you have to get in there if you want to make those changes. And so that's what I've decided to do. And so if you feel like I have compromised some of my own values or I've stepped into a gray area because of that, that's fine. What you can then do is you can scrutinize how the party conducts itself over the next few months, over the next few years. You can scrutinize me as well, and then you can determine, okay, has Darren stuck by his values? Has the party articulated itself better in terms of those values I was concerned about? And then you can make your decisions. Then you can decide if you still want to listen to me, if you still want to watch my content, if you want.
So I don't want to discuss Kempa would have had because he was MK. He's now MK. He's making a lot of money, and he's been accused now, of course, that now that it suits him, he went to MK because they promised him money. So let's talk about Dean Papas. So Dean Papas is a very strange character because Dean Papas umZulu. He understands the culture. He speaks better isiZulu than most of us, and I bet there are I'm just making far-reaching conclusions that there are people who are Zulus outside KwaZulu-Natal who may not even speak good Zulu like him because of course, not being exposed to speaking KwaZulu-Natal isiZulu. So he's a white Zulu guy who speaks and understands the language, and is loved by his community, even though he's openly gay. So you do understand, he comes from the community, represents them, and he's loved. You go to Hlengwa again, he's loved. Is it really a threat? Is it really, are we making a storm out of something that doesn't exist? Does it matter if someone is or not? Because I bet it doesn't. To me, I bet it doesn't. I think the wrongness in this is when people are using it wrongly. But does it still mean people should not come out? Do you want them to come out? Is it in your interest for them to come out? Because other people were saying in comments that if you don't come out, it means you are betraying us. But you never asked. And why should you ask? Does it bother you, the orientation of someone? And people were even saying, hi, I did not know this guy was not of us. He was of the community. Does it matter? Does it bother you? Do you feel betrayed that someone who, you'd understand what Julius Malema is saying. Julius Malema is saying in Uganda, they might use those new laws to politically assassinate people who they do not agree with. Because you can't prove someone is gay by just, you understand? So, here it is. So what do you think about it? MK Party, EFF, Zaki Ahmad, we're talking about Democratic Alliance and the African National Congress. All of them have leaders who come from the community. Does it bother you? Is it something that we must ignore? Because you would have seen the tweets. The tweet, it still looks like a problem. Does it affect you? Does it matter? Just talk to me. How does it affect you? Because to me it doesn't. But at the end, let me show you. Let me just include an ANC Youth League member who says, his name is Ntsako, by the way, who says he was subjected to a request for Matanyula for him to keep a job, and he's been fighting this case through the office of Comrade Banyaza. He tried, and he's still talking to the Youth League people to come to his defense. And I'm just going to play it for you so you understand that this thing is very difficult. And now people are labeling ANC Youth League as Matanyula gang. Matanyula, by the way, it's from the back. I'm deliberately using neutral words so the algorithm puts us better, so the video would have more traction. Because if we say things loudly, it doesn't go further. Machine politically incorrect. I'll include other things for you to watch. Does it matter, the sexual orientation of a political leader? Thank you very much. Let's discuss.
Aye, I'm in charge.
Moranzi wa ka ke batla re be Mr and Mr.
Ana moranzi wa ka ka Sepedi ke moratiwa wa ka. Moranzi wa ka ke Sependa.
Oh.
You must get someone who's paid, you will know it because it's sexually transmitted language.
Seriously? So,
not me, man. Aye.
Even the weather is changing now. I think like it's either my place or your place.
Yeah. You know my place, things are happening there. It's too much. Yeah.
So, my place or your place?
Nah. None of the two. Office.
Why? I don't see Julius Malema on the menu. Why? Ah.
I don't.
Oh, who last told you you don't know?
My wife told me.
Your wife? You didn't tell me you have a wife.
I've got a wife. It's a public knowledge.
The guy.
Very romantic.
Seriously?
Yeah, too much.
What's the most romantic thing you've done?
It was when I went down on my knee asking my wife to marry me. There's no romance bigger than that.
Didn't we say we're going to talk about your wife?
Oh, okay. But we're one thing. When the two becomes one. So I can't leave her out.
So how is this going to work? So it's going to be 2 become 3?
No, there is no 3. Becomes one. So I can't leave her out.
So how is this going to work? So it's going to be 2 become 3?
No, there is no 3. You respect it. Zokutholela umuntu.
You seem like very stingy. You're giving stingy.
Very stingy.
Are you stingy?
I know. I'm very handsome. I release.
Ah! Are you not stingy?
No. I can sort you out now.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay. So like, unless if you like, you're available after like this date.
Yeah.
I saw like you came with like, so like, who's like first husband.
Hey, you like including yourself.
Why? Kati.
Yeah, no. Come. Let's rock.
So first husband. Think about it.
Uh-huh.
And I think I wanna like, at your office Fridays.
Yeah.
Red party.
Hey, man.
Wear your favorite red color.
Yeah. And then you'll rock up with a red lingerie.
Yes! You see?
Are you enjoying your drink?
I am, but it's so small.
The glass. And sexy.
Right? Why did you call the glass sexy and not me?
You are sexy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, am I also going to rush with you?
You can come along.
Okay.
There's no problem.
But like, are there like your people going to judge me?
No one will judge you. We don't judge people.
Serious?
No, we're together.
But what if like I'm scared? Like, are you gonna like hold my hand? And
Yeah, come.
And then like no pictures. Like,
They're normal. There's no problem.
Okay, but like,
yeah.
So like, do I sit in the passenger seat?
So we sit at the back.
At the back.
Yeah. There's one.
For me, like, I see it. Imagine headlights, J and L. Oh, you hear it. You hear it. Beyonce and Jay, like it has a Beyonce and Jay-Z type of thing. Like, Nyasbona sing, like, introduce for Lapa. Because, like, I do watch the news every year.
Yeah.
Coming outfit, Kabanga so kind of red cafe. Kabanga so, you get. It's a match. They need to be renewed, cancel all, because like I'm a virgin, so every year my subscription renews. Yeah.
You're a virgin. Oh, nice.
Every year, renew.
You become a virgin every year. I'm not there. I don't understand.
Renew every year. So every year.
Okay.
Yes, after Christmas.
So you utilize it, and get renewed.
Yes, it gets renewed.
Then you become virgin and then you mess it up again. No, it makes sense now. Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Yeah, even yours.
Are you not going to feed me?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, you're not going to give me at least a steak?
You can get a steak. You want?
You're not romantic as...
Look, I'm giving... Very romantic.
But when I watch horror, I need you to be next to me.
What?
So good, like, mustn't scream, like...
Horror I watch, but I don't mind. I
don't mind it?
I won't even... People say they dream badly high.
You don't? What's your favorite dream? Like, what do you like? What's your favorite thing to dream about?
Success.
I'm emotional now. Like, oh.
Yeah.
You sound like someone who loves your mom, and like your mom is your hero.
Yeah.
Like, if your mom was here today, what would you say to her?
I'll tell her I love her and appreciate the things that she has done for me under very difficult circumstances. And I'll ask her to look at her product in me and be proud that she has nurtured a giant.
I know. Okay, but now I want to know you. But now, like, when we come
Without
back,
cameras.
yeah, camera. Oh. High school. Tell me about
Exactly that.
I think we're not leaders.
Yeah, and when I arrived here, we went to Alexander.
Okay.
Hey, it was so scary. We moved to Hillbrow.
Okay.
I used to stay at Ponton.
Ponton.
Ponton, that
Matching outfits.
Yes. I hate those things. Oh,
Why?
matching outfits. I've never done that.
Seriously?
Aye.
Like Mr. and Mr.
No.
He's mine and I'm his.
No. There is some backwardness. There's lack of some. Aye. Yeah. Man, I'm just a good friend.
So we shared a meal all this time. You are flirting with me. You're making me laugh. Can't take it show me.
Yeah.
Can't my
no, my friends we must share a meal.
No. What if I'm gonna cry
laugh.
now? What if I'm gonna cry now?
No, you can't cry.
What?
No ways.
Can I have a tissue?
What together? All right. There is a, we call it Noktampile.
Like,
I didn't know you like crying. Yeah?
I'm hurting. And you're hurting.
No ways.
To hug you.
Yeah.
Or like, do you want me to like you to hug
But
me?
I don't think that thing's practical, man. I think it's a movie.
No, it's.
No, you sleep hugging, but the next thing you are in a separate direction.
Man, give us that moment.
No, yeah. No, at the beginning, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like, do you want to be big spoon or small spoon?
Which means?
So big spoon is the one, the hugger,
Uh-huh.
and then the small spoon is the huggy.
I'm a big spoon.
What if I want to be big spoon?
No,
Huh?
I'm a big spoon.
What do you mean?
Gindot.
Nami into it.
Aye. I'm in charge.
What are your thoughts? How can it be legal for men to sleep with men and it's illegal for polygamy? It's complex. So when you talk about gay rights, the question is that what the African is looking for, or is what the European is looking for in Africa?
Because I know you got into trouble at some point.
I was arrested for that.
In South Africa?
In South Africa for the Human Rights Commission. And my position is simple and it's straight. And I will not mix my ways with any one of you. Take 100 men and women that are gay. Put them on this island. Take 100 men and 100 women that are bisexual. Put them on this island. Come back here in 30 years and 50 years. This will be a graveyard. Here, there's life. So don't get me confused in this social media, public opinion. Heterosexual is the center of life. This is where life is. I support life. These are alternative lifestyles. I call it entertainment.
Because there's no reproduction.
They are not right. These are not rights. Because one day they are homosexual, the other day they have children this side, the other day they want to adopt children this side and move them this side. Come on. And I wonder why not gay boys just go and get lesbians pregnant and make their own children on that side? Why come to the heterosexual side and you want to move children from here to this whole arrangement? And I'm not confused what Europe and America wants to do for Africans. I don't think it protects the core, and the core is the family. I stand here today to say it is still okay for a man to marry a woman and have children and build homes and allow life to continue. I cannot, in the sanity of my head, begin to talk about this department, which then destroys, because even gay people are born from heterosexual. Hello? Hey, I am this, I don't know who I am, I'm trapped in this body and what, with all the fanciness around it. But at the end of the day, we needed a mother and a father to bring you here. So we cannot make laws out of the problems of the community. Yes, because of diet. Yes, because of medicines. Yes, because of vaccinations. The estrogens, testosterone, they are now becoming imbalanced in the children that we are bringing forth. They are not normal children. They are no longer normal children. It cannot be that you've been in contraception for the past 20 years. The day you get pregnant, you think that you're bringing forth a natural child. There will be bound to be imbalances in terms of their hormonal composition with a female genitalia but with a masculine expression. We need to understand that the problem is not homosexual and gay rights. The issue is welfare of humanity. Are we still giving birth to children or are giving birth to animals?
In Kenya, the only understanding of relationships around marriage is around men marrying women. That's the context of a relationship that exists in Kenya and exists in our constitution and is provided for in our constitution. And it can happen elsewhere. We have no issue with people celebrating their issues in America and in other countries. That is their choosing.
Just very briefly, I mean, it was really just a blink of an eye also in Europe, in the United States, that marriage was only between a man and a woman as well. It's a very short time. Do you think that will never come in Kenya, or you think maybe it will just come but in a longer period of time?
I cannot tell you. I cannot stretch my imagination that far. Maybe we can.
Why am I can't be employed when people are getting employment in the very same office I'm working at? So when I managed to track down the chief of staff, Prince of Hamga,
okay,
right? That's when I was there because I did it via comrades. Via Comradely. You understand? So there was an attempt to manage me or to silence me. It's either by forms of threat that wherever you can go, there's nothing you can do. You understand? We are in charge. But also, if you want things to be done in your satisfaction, that you can at least come up with something or get what you want, you know, that's when arise the conditions that were compromising my principles. You understand? They wanted to do it in a comradely. You understand? That's when even this issue of, I hear there's a trend of Mantanyula. You understand? In the trenches of the ANC right now, they are talking about Grootmans who want Mantanyula in a returns of you giving you the opportunity that you want. Seeing that I was so desperate for opportunity, seeing that I was so desperate for a job, and these are the people who are telling you right in your face that you can do anything with whatever grabs that you have. Hence, but we can help you in the other way. The other way, when by the way things were done, it was leading to Mantanyula.
So is this Mantanyula allegations, was it in your head? You thought that's what they want you to? So you are saying they could have helped you. You could have won your job back.
I promise you, if ever I was someone who wasn't principled enough and go with how it's suggested, I wouldn't be here. maybe today I'll be driving a Range Rover or whatsoever. My career will be been catapulted. You know, I've been talking to people like, hence I'm telling you this hate.
You know people whose careers has catapulted because they offered Matanyula?
People won't come out, but by the way things are.
See, when you are just assuming.
No, I'm not assuming, because at the end of the day, okay, I've also been in that road before, whereby, you know, this thing, like exactly how it is, my political.
Yeah.
Ne? Hence I tell you, my politics started at university. There were advances that will come along with opportunities that would want you to.
So these months of Matanyula, they even infiltrate universities.
Yeah, yes, there are comrades at universities. I mean, it's more like COSAS, Youth League, and SASCO. Where are those comrades funded? Do you think a comrade can just rise to be a chairperson of the university, or a president of COSAS, or president of SASCO, or just like that? These guys are they are given resources. They are funded. They are there. They might not tell you, but they are there. Grootmans are there. In varsities, in student politics, and to tell you, even. Also, I saw you alluding something with regard to my qualification.
Yes.
Ne? Even qualifications, even
universities.
In universities, I'm telling you, there are people who are mantangled in order to advance
their academic.
To advance their academic. And I can even tell you how it starts. You see, when you are studying a serious courses, like
difficult engineering courses.
Yes. Like the one that I was doing now, I was doing BCom Economics and Econometrics. If you pass it well, you can work as an actuarial scientist. You know actuarial science.
Sure.
Apparently, by then it was known to be the biggest course.
Yeah.
I mean, actuarial science. So, the course that I was doing, BCom Economics and Econometrics, if you pass it well, you can practice as an actuarial science. Like you are given a recognition of actuarial scientist. So, if you are doing those kind of course, there are certain subjects
that are very difficult.
If
you don't have money, you can't sustain them.
Yeah.
There are going to be failures there.
Yes, and even studying, attending a lecture alone, sitting there in the lecture and going to tutorials alone, you aren't gonna make it. You need to have a private consultations. And those private consultations, that's where the issue of Matanyula comes.
If and then pay them, you need to pay with something.
Yeah, you must pay with something. If you can't pay them, you must pay with something. That's when, if ever you cooperate well, that's when you can even get a simple things like a scope of an exam. You can get a scope of an exam. You can get, like tomorrow student could be studying, but you will be knowing like which to study, which modules to study, which areas to focus on.
Me spending the whole night studying a thick textbook like this.
Yes.
People already know which side.
Exactly. They know like what to do. These are the Matanyula Brigade.
So is it true that that's why Slay Queens graduate better than you guys?
Oh my God. In fact, you are right about it. Is it true? It's true even why Slay Queens today get jobs even when they are not qualified. But it's not only Slay Queens, even Majita. But for Mereko, like you can tell that the guy, he's not that really educated, but guy, he's sorted in life. These are the Matanyula Brigade, my bra. Like, hence, I don't know. I need to research well.
There was a time people accused who's your youth league, Colin Malachi, he was sworn at on Twitter. People were calling him the Matanyula gang and stuff. How entrenched is this in the ANC?
That thing is it is prevalent. It is entrenched.
Do you know that comrade from Mpumalanga who spoke about this? What you are speaking about?
I've heard about him, and
you
I've
know
heard
he's
that
shot now.
I heard that he's shot. He's fighting for his life. Hence, like I came here prepared. In fact, in terms of name dropping, I want to be careful about it because I want to research, but not that I'm afraid to do that.
Yeah.
You understand? It's just that, in a sense, the people that I will freely drop their name right now, unfortunately, I've passed that stage. I don't have a gripe with them. You understand? But those today, I would be so happy to drop their name in terms of their advances with Matanyula. They were so careful that right now, I can't really have something to pin them on.
Okay, so when people attempted to Matanyula you, but you don't have proof.
I don't have proof. It will be my word against them.
You can have proof. Remember, the reason the GBV struggle is very difficult for women, and sometimes we blame them. These monsters come in ways that they don't leave proof. You understand?
Yes.
So now we are getting into the shoes of women who are victims.
Yeah.
Because even if you say someone's name now, that someone can successfully sue you because you won't have proof against them. I'm saying as men now, we're starting to understand the GBV.
Yes.
Yes. So you are saying, in other words, if you had an opportunity, or if you do not have your moral compass, you would be waking.
Yes, I would. I'm telling you, I would. Even this issue that I'm talking about now, this thing here, Nancy Span.
You would have even qualified in your qualification.
I would have even qualified back in university. I will be become econometrics.
So, but then do you know people who are?
Yeah.
Do you know people who are? How do I put it? Who have successfully did this Matanyula and then they are okay now, even though you can't prove.
Yes, I do know them. That's exactly because we were in a group university, my brother, where these things, because it happens in a sense like, if I can also share with you something interesting, not to brag. Me now, my brother, I've never been in a gang in terms of academic. I've never been in a gang where I'm a leading gang. In terms of academic, I was good. In a sense of, like back in high school, if you can ask my high school teachers, primary school teachers,
you were okay.
I'm on top. I'm that guy whereby at the end of the day, everyone want to be around me because they know that this is a guy who have it easy. Academically. So me, I was also part of those groups. I know people who were also under my wings, but they advanced due to Matanyula.
I understand.
Yeah.
You struggled and you knew you were better than them.
Yes.
But how did they get all these grades?
They are getting grades. Some of them, yes, you could go to them and ask them. Like, you could ask a scope, in fact. And maybe, like, even...
You can't put it direct.
Yeah. Like, I can... You are refusing Matanyula. But you wanna stick around.
Yes.
There's also now difficulties of them wanting to be with you.
Yes.
And you are surprised all of a sudden that these people were following me around, like, in terms of understanding academics. They know that this guy, this brother, this student is brilliant.
Yes.
There are people like who automatically gravitated towards you, but right now they are doing well, but they no longer even want to be with you.
Do you think if you were a woman, your struggle, your cries, because listening to your story, it means you're a victim.
Yeah.
We should ordinarily believe it. If you're a woman, your story would have been believable.
Yeah, if I was
because
a
you
woman.
don't have proof, remember.
Yes.
You don't have proof around these things. But if you're a woman, because I want to say, if it's a woman, they say we must believe them. So if it's you, should we believe you?
That one, it's another question because sure, even women, they are not believed. Even guys are not believed. But at the end of the day, it comes to with the bravery of when you want to come out with it, what do you have out there? So that might not implicate you. But right now, let me tell you, sir, because right now I'm prepared, like I cannot drop name exactly, but I can tell you that within the people that I was
Continue speaking, I just wanna
within the people that I consulted with, I talked with regard to this issue of Panyaza, or in the office of the premier. Among these people, around these people I've talked about, there are. And I'm emboldened by, supposed right now, somebody want to take it that I'm not tarnishing their name, even though I didn't really mention their name.
Yeah,
I know I have
told me the names outside, and you are not mentioning names today because you don't have proof. I'm just saying, we're not politically within the movement. Is it not going to compromise you? Because it means in future people are not going to give you these job opportunities.
Yeah, at the end of the day, so be it. Because that's the sad state of our country. So be it. If ever this thing, it will further victimize me, have people want to stay away from me or do whatever they do, so be it. I'm not ready to victimize myself.
You are in the ANC, it's prevalent in the ANC. You jump ANC, you go to other political parties. How do you know that in the other political parties is also there or is not there? Or because we know it as an ANC problem. Are you going to live with it inside the ANC, and where are you going to cry?
The thing is, I'm not going to leave the ANC because those people, they are not the ANC. Maybe they might be fortunate right now that they are in charge. You understand?
Yeah.
But they won't be in charge forever.